cutting edge haunted house. There she is, cutting edge, the home of the ogre demon. The hardest part about all this, you know, whether it's country and western music, meeting Willie Nelson, trying to be a celebrity, getting on YouTube and becoming famous, the hardest part of it all is controlling the emotion. That's the hardest part. And that's why you go to acting school. That's why you go to the actor studio. You learn how to breathe and relax. And it's kind of like a labor in itself, taking on the fame of who you are, you know, becoming famous, celebrity, which is what I'm doing right now. But it takes a lot of guts and courage. And then when it finally happens and you accept that Oscar and you hold it up, or Grammy, or whatever it is you accept, whatever award it may be, you hold it up and you say thank you. You've got the you're talking ultra is what I was trying to say, ultra control. You got a lot of control in that. But there's a real good chance you could lose control, like Will Smith did, smacking a good friend named Chris Rock. Because you're under so much pressure that it's so easy, there's compulsion just to mess it all up, slap somebody or something. So you have to kind of keep your distance, and a lot of times people don't even go to those awards. They stay at home, or they accept it through Zoom, or like Sean Penn, he accepts a lot of his awards through Zoom or through like a website kind of thing, you know, like a camera online, or however they do it. I don't know how they do it. Or he does a pre-recorded message. I thank the Academy for every. Well, he doesn't talk that way, but you know what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is that you have to learn to control your emotions. And if you can't, then just don't go. You know, once you get the award, send a Native American lady to accept the award, like Brando did. You know, he did that for the I think it was The Godfather. He sent a Native American lady to accept his Oscar. Maybe that's what everybody has to do. You know, they can't just go up there and accept it. It's too emotional. Make a point on this October 6th of 2012. No matter how much Elvis Presley tries to be king, he'll never be king.
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Sir, I'm not talking to you. I don't have communication on it. I'm not to communicate with anybody for the present moment. Keep your 6 feet.
Are you going to that residence?
It's none of your business. That's none of your business. You don't want to have any communication. It doesn't matter what they have. Okay, they may say there's a lot of fake police that are out there, and you want to have no communication with them at all. None at all. It's the Fifth Amendment all the way. Especially someone like that. who's posing as an authority figure. Every police officer in the United States of America is opposing. Every police officer in the United States of America is pretending like they're an authority figure. They're acting like they have authority. Okay? They don't have authority. The reason why is because they're corrupt. I teach survival. It's not survival of the fittest. It's survival of the B.R.A.T. Okay? So when you understand B.R.A.T, then you understand how to get out of a situation. You want to first look for the cruiser number. Get it down on paper somewhere. If you got to put it through a text message to a family member or a friend, get the cruiser number out first. But that's not the most important. B.R.A.T is the most important. It starts with a badge. The badge number. Get that. I guarantee you, once that badge number is secure, that police officer will no longer have a career and most likely be in prison. The second thing is the rank. You want to get the rank. Find out what they are. Okay? They may not even know, but ask them the rank. Third is the association. So where are they coming out of? Who do they represent? Where are we at right now? I don't even know where we're at. But you find out what city they represent, or whatever it is, county, whatever it is they represent, okay? Doesn't matter the level. It can be the highest up, the most authority figure police officers that they think that they are, and they can go to prison too. Then you get the title, and that consists of their name. Get their name. Now, they'll probably lie to you because they don't put their full name on their badge, which I think they should. They only put a partial name. Got some squirrels up here. Then you're good. Then you get that police officer put in prison. Take it around right there. Yeah, it's real important before all this is over that we get as many police officers put in prison as we can. That's our main goal, okay? Your job is to put a police officer in prison. That's the attitude. That's what you do. You go out there and you put them in prison by getting the B.R.A.T, the badge, the rank, the association, and the title. Get the badge number first. Ask for it. Write it down. Communicate it. Make sure it's given to some person or another. If they lie about it, they go to prison. Get that rank. Make sure you find out what type of police officer they are or what level they are, and then the association. Who do they represent? And then the title. Get that information, and that police officer will go to prison. And the DEA agent, Mike Kier, spelled K-I-E-R, his first name Mike. I got his title. I didn't get his badge number. I didn't get his rank. Association was DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency. When he stole my wife and eventually my children, all I could think of is, what is a morbidly obese man like this even getting paid for anything? When really he should be on the sidewalk begging someone for a cracker. But he's not. He ate all his victims. See, he went around eating people, literally. He found a way to do it. And he used the Drug Enforcement Agency to actually eat people. Metaphorically, I guess you could say. Big old fat, disgusting guy. Miserably fat. He's probably crying right now is how fat he is. But he was behind stealing my wife and children. That's when I realized, and I was 100% convinced, that the police officers of this world, the police officers of this nation, are out at war with other people because they hate Jesus Christ and they have no authority. So they will try to kill. But if you get their information, you can put them in prison. Mike Kier will be sued in court by my lawyers for interfering with my marriage. Did you know that you can sue someone for interfering with your marriage? Yep, there's actually laws against it. You have no right to be a wedge in someone else's marriage in any form. Now, when he showed up at MacArthur Boulevard Baptist, he showed up with my wife at his side. God saw that as a sin. It was a sin. Then he went off and ate a bunch of hamburgers later, and probably ate food with her too. Went through a fast food establishment with her. That's against the church policy. You're not to be side by side with another woman. It doesn't matter the reason. They blame me because I have acting experience, and they're jealous. They're jealous of my freedom. So the reason why he's going to be sued in court and probably do prison time is because he's probably not going to make any of the payments that he owes me. He owes me probably a few $100,000 just for messing with my marriage. At least $200,000 or $300,000. Whether he pays it or not is up to the judge. But he will be sued by my people. And who are my people? God's people. Well, the Nashville chicken It's hand breaded, it's hot, and 20% larger than the average chicken. If you want a good chicken sandwich. Extra large. It's got pickles on it. Makes you feel all nice and warm inside. Then you can have some wicked wings. Spicy or regular. They're brand new. And don't forget about the hand-breaded big golden chicken sandwich. And let me get that perfect for all the Christians. New hand-breaded big golden chicken sandwich. 20% larger chicken breast. About perfect. That'll cost them. And when you're at it, get some new raspberry Palmer. It's a 30 ounce. Golden chick. Whatever he was, whatever his association was, DEA, whatever Mike here was, what kind of police officer. He didn't literally eat my children like a monster, but he took from me. And when you take from someone else, you take things away and you consume them in a way, okay? Because his eyes are looking at my family against my permission, right? He took my wife out and took her somewhere without my permission. Yeah, how you doing? Here's the thing. He needed permission to ask. So when a police officer asks you, can I put these handcuffs on you? Tell him no, right? If a police officer asks you, may I speak to you? You say, the answer is no. You go like this. That's what you do. That means Fifth Amendment. And that's it. Don't ask them. Don't even just... Because you have the right to have the Fifth Amendment anytime you want. Let the police officer lock himself up. Because that's what they do when they go and arrest someone else. They actually lock themselves up in prison. That's why a police officer fears prison more than anything else in the world. They fear prison the most. That's why they do what they do. So let the police officer lock himself up. And they'll do it. Golden chick style. There's my victim. Right there. I drop it off at the doorstep. All right, golden chick. You got the golden chick, you got the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law. You got a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, then one will be appointed to you. Do you understand your rights, golden chick? All right then, here we go. Yeah, I could just open the door and let the golden chick out, but I gotta make money. So I gotta drop that golden chick at the doorstep. And the golden chick doesn't say anything at all. It just sits there. It's been going on since Jesus was born. People have been dropping off food at people's doorstep for a long time. And see, when I see a flag that's half staff, I think of every victim that's been shot by a police officer in the United States of America. That's what I think of, and how sad this world is. Other people that are lined up to be sued in court, as in J. Josh Smith out in Bogart, Georgia, and Ricky Primrose. Because if everybody gave $1 a day to my wife, there'd be $765 that she would have daily to get what she needs for the children, clothing, and everything that she needs. $1 a day. That means that I'm going to go back and unfortunately have to sue the church for being a wedge in my marriage. I know the church loves to wake up and drink that coffee for $1 a day. But as long as they give up their coffee, they can shovel out $1 a day to Angel Lee Spivey. And everybody gives their $1, and she gets her $700 a day to make sure the kids have everything they need and everybody's happy and free, just like Mickey Mouse, okay? We all got big smiles on our face going, oh boy! And everybody's got the money that they need, right? And everybody's happy. And MacArthur Boulevard Baptist just has to shovel out $1 a day to Angel Lee Spivey and to my children. And everybody's free and everybody's happy. If they don't, then there's an opposing force that will happen. It's called karma, because there is such thing as karma. Jesus talked about it. I've been looking around different ways, all different ways to make extra money, so that I can give all the money to the people, make them real happy. So all the judges are smiling ear to ear, and they're just so happy to be a citizen in the United States of America and Texas. So I thought about getting some extra money saved. So I've decided that I'm going to play live at a coffee shop in Fort Worth, and I'm going to give you all the details on it. I'm going to play up to 5 to 6 songs, and I'm working on each song every night. Now, as a musician, I've been working on songs for at least 2.5 years, up to 3 years now. I think usually around 4 or 5 years you get it all right. But you got to at least work a little bit each night. And I'm writing my new play that I want to be done on Broadway. And did you know that David Bowie, he actually wanted to write plays for Broadway? It's a true story. I've done interviews with David Bowie. He wanted to be a playwright. He wanted to write music for Broadway. So, that's like a playwright. Forgive our sins as we forgive others, Matthew 6:12. Yes, I should forgive Mike Cure for being a fat butt and taking my family away, and for being an ex-Nazi. Okay, I forgive him. Oh, and check out me playing live. I'll give that information probably the day before I do it. And this is a university where all the TCU students hang out. And let me tell you something. When a TCU student has a child, nobody can take that child. Right? When a Texas Christian University has a child, nobody can take it away from them. You know why? Because their daddy's got money. A lot of people don't care for him, but I think a really good musician is Jim White. He was, I think, obsessed with the lead singer of the Talking Heads. He wanted to meet David Byrne and followed him around New York City. Got a job as like a busboy, dishwasher, just so he could just walk up to David Byrne. I think he actually did. David Byrne just kind of walked off. He thought it was real cool that he got to kind of approach David Byrne. And then he started writing his own music, and he'd been writing music for a long time. He's actually still writing music today. He's like a real musician that really loves what he does. And I'm listening to one of his songs, Ghost Town of My Brain. But it's kind of country a little bit, but it's more like avant-garde country kind of thing. It's kind of folky a little bit. It's not like the Talking Heads at all, but it does have kind of an avant-garde, kind of new wave kind of feel to it. He's a pretty good musician. There's a lot of them like that in New York that are real good musicians. And when I went there, it kind of scared me a little bit because I went to a farmer's market, and I was on a motorcycle. Went to a farmer's market, and I heard this really good musician. He was playing the drums and the guitar and the harmonica all at the same time. He played the drums with his feet. Then he would use the harmonica. Then he'd play the guitar. It was a one-man band. And I thought, my gosh. And he was just playing for tips in the middle of the farmer's market. And it really actually put a lot of despair in me as a musician at the time, because I used to just go up to my dorm room by myself when I was going to acting school, and I just play, riffs and things like that. And it really put a lot of despair in me because I knew this guy was more talented than Bob Dylan, and he could sing and everything, but he didn't have a record deal. But this guy deserved it. Now, the guy that was also in his underwear in Times Square, he had been doing it for years. He had a cowboy hat, pretty good musician. He's not George Strait or anything, but he was in his underwear. And he's in Times Square. I don't think he got as far as the Village, but he would play all over New York, and he just played in his underwear. Well, eventually he got sponsored by Pepsi. Pepsi cut him a deal. They called him the Cowboy in his underwear or something like that. Cowboy underwear. He has some kind of name. He's out in New York City. He plays during Christmas time, and he's like pretty much naked. He's got his briefs on, like his whitey tighties. He's in his underwear, but he plays guitar, and he's kind of country. He's like a country guitar player, and something cowboy, some kind of cowboy in New York City. But he got a deal, and I thought, my goodness, he was not even half the musician that the guy that I saw in the farmer's market that was playing the drums with his feet and the harmonica and all this stuff. And I thought to myself, man, that other guy who's halfway decent, sponsored by Pepsi, and he's in his underwear. What in the world? Continued playing, and I considered playing in some coffee shops in New York City. Really, any coffee shop, like Cafe Wa or anything, you know, just a open mic night like at NYU, and I was getting ready to kind of do that. But I did show up at a coffee bar with my guitar in the case. I had bought that Oscar Schmidt for $200. My mom cut me a check, and then I got a case for the guitar too. I got I got that I think a little bit later. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead. It's fine. I ended up shipping that car back to, I ended up shipping that guitar, I ended up shipping the guitar back to Texas. FedEx, I think it was FedEx or UPS, I don't really remember, but I did have it there for the whole time I was there. So I had to have a guitar, and I was playing. I thought, well, you know, I gotta set up at a coffee shop or something. This is my chance. I'm in New York City. So I played all these weird songs. I wanted to mostly do like original kind of stuff. There's like words right there. I want to do like original stuff. Not play any covers or anything. So I decided, you know, let me get my riffs down, and then I'll just kind of make up the lyrics at the mic, you know, almost like stand-up comedy or something like that. Like, I know kind of what I'm going to say, kind of hum along, you know, just go along with the plan kind of thing. So what ended up happening was I showed up, and there was an event for 9/11 because we were all just... Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead. It's fine. It's right through September 11th of 2001. So they were doing musical events to bring awareness to 9/11 survivors or 9/11 victims, and just 9/11, you know, September 11th. And all that stuff. They were bringing awareness to what happened to the city. And so I showed up, and I had my guitar. You know, James Lipton was there too. James Lipton showed up, and this was like a really good chance to show off, you know, me as a guitar player or whatever. And I wasn't ready, you know, I wasn't ready, but I was there, you know. So I thought, well, I'm gonna give it a shot, you know. I know something, you know. So I was totally not prepared, but I did have the guitar, and I did have some riffs. Why not? You know, just get someone to go up there and play some riffs. And I had some riffs down. So I went up there, and man, there were a bunch of other actors. They all had their guitars, their songs ready. They must have learned it all off tablature. They were playing Paul Simon, Pearl Jam, or Stone Temple Pilot. No, they were playing, what were they playing? They were playing Soundgarden, some Soundgarden, and Temple the Dog. Temple of Dog songs. They played a really good America, the Paul Simon one, and they were ripping it up like right on the mic. Everybody, you know, all these people, and I never got my shot. So I just sat there, and then with the president of our cohort, which was, we were in cohort 8, was named Rich. He was this bodybuilder guy, had like one of the hottest girlfriends, and he sat down right next to me afterwards. They had like pretty much smeared me. He said, "How did you think I did?" He's asking me, you know. I'm like, am I some type of critic or something? I said, you played some of the hardest songs, some of the hardest rock and roll songs that are out there. America's really hard as Paul Simon. And I said, that's a really difficult song, you know. And he just kind of smiled. He's probably on Wall Street now. Anyway, it was a really nice moment, you know, in New York history. And Lipton was there. James Lipton was there, and he actually clapped, sat there and watched everything. That's the thing that was cool about that school, which I hope that doesn't go away, was that you were not only being watched by someone that was an expert in the theater, but you were also being watched by a famous person. So it's different than being watched by someone that's not famous, because they know more, because they've been to the stadiums, and they've seen thousands of people show up, and they know what works, you know. But he was real happy. It was a real magical night. It was a really good night in music, but I didn't get to go up there. And I wasn't really ready lyrically. I was ready riff-wise, but I didn't have the lyrics down. So I think maybe Lipton might have known, but he did show up, and I did listen. I was there with my guitar ready, just in case I needed some backup. But it worked out. It was a good night. We raised a little bit of money and awareness to victims of September 11th, 2001. Small little coffee shop, though, right there in the New School University. Right, it was like a little coffee shop right there inside the New York University. You could also get free bagels, too. They had like this clear plastic bag they would pull out. It was about the size of a big old trash bag. It'd be full of bagels. You could just rip it open and eat bagels all day long if you wanted to. Of course, you know, I wouldn't recommend that. But the coffee's pretty good. It's free coffee. And the music was good. Chicken Express tastes good.